Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, and that means it's time for this week's market update. It's also the first Wednesday in March, which means I have February's data ready to go over. So we will screen share this data from the Northwest MLS. Currently, it is showing the number of new listings that came on the market for Whatcom County and for Bellingham. And as always, I am focusing on single family residential listings. So this is a 3-year history to give us some context. You can see here a visual representation of listing inventory seasonality that rises and falls throughout the course of any given year, showing our aberration that we had, of course, in March and April of 2020, but showing a much more standard arc over the course of 2021. And now looking at 2022, we see a fairly strong uptick for Whatcom County as a whole, from January's new listings of 167 to 225 new listings coming on the market in February. Bellingham, on the other hand, did not fare so positively. We still saw new listings coming on the market, but only an increase of 3 new listings this month versus in January, for a total of 85 new single family listings coming on the market in February. Hopefully, we will see an uptick there in March, but we don't know that for sure. Typically and historically, March and April is when we do see a strong uptick in new listings. So I'm certainly hoping that that will be the case for this year as well. Days on market. Well, with low inventory, it's no surprise that days on market still remains low. However, I was surprised to see it drop. Whatcom County as a whole, the median days on market dropped from 10 in January to 8 in February. Bellingham dropped from 7 to 6 when the numbers are already that low to begin with, a drop in even one day is significant because we're talking again about dozens of homes closing, and that is our median number being affected enough to change by an entire day, or in Whatcom County by 2 days. It's still a little bit higher than this time last year. This time last year was chaos in the market, and we are seeing some of that chaos again, but at least at this point, not to the same degree yet, potentially, that we saw in the first quarter of 2021. But we'll keep you posted on that. And that is a great reminder to be keeping an eye out on our dispatches series for ways that you can win as a buyer or a seller in this given market, whatever the situation is. We cover that in that series. Now, that is our days on market, but the most interesting data point for this last month, and is something that you could see hyped up in a headline or hyped up in social media, is how median sales price increased significantly over the course of this last month. So, median closed prices in Bellingham for February versus January went up by 16%. That is a higher price appreciation than we sometimes see in a year. And that happened over the course of 1 month for median closed homes. So, this is what it looks like on this graph. Bellingham is our green line here, with a median closed price of 590 in January, a median closed price of 682 and change in February. Whatcom County saw not quite as steep of an incline, but it's still a significant incline. It was a 12% increase again in a month. This is the type of number we typically see over the course of a year, and that happened over the course of a month this last month. But the thing to keep in mind, as always, is what is the historical context of that situation. And in this case, the historical context does not neutralize the impact of that increase, but it does soften it, if only a little bit. So let's take a look here. We had our prior peak in November, and then we had 2 months of declining median closed prices for December and January, and then a sharp uptick into February. If we look at November to February, that's an increase of 6% for Whatcom County and 7% for Bellingham. And that is a price growth that is nothing to sneeze at. I am not trying to diminish the impact of that price increase over the course of just 1 month, but just to say that if you're seeing any sort of prices have gone up 16% just this last month, while that is true, we have to recognize the larger context of even just 3 or 4 months on that number and react accordingly. Seeing this still hits you in the gut. I'm not gonna lie, when I pulled these numbers on yesterday morning, it was a lot to see that these prices have increased so drastically in such a short amount of time, and I'm very curious to see if we see some sort of stasis or cap in the first quarter of at some point buyers aren't willing to pay more, or if we will continue to see prices increasing over the course of the first and second quarter. Currently, in Whatcom County, as of this morning, we had 142 listings, homes available for sale in Whatcom County, and only 35 in Bellingham. The median price in Bellingham right now for live active homes is $768,000. In Whatcom County, it's $625,000 is our median. And in the $200,000 to $450,000 price bracket, there are currently 31 homes available for sale in Whatcom County, and in Bellingham, there are 5. And that was this week's market update. That was also the 49th weekly market update recorded on our YouTube channel. And so next week will be the 50th market update. Thank you so much for tuning into this series week over week, month over month, and now it's coming on year over year. I appreciate you, and I look forward to continuing to bringing you this week's market update. And with that, friends, we'll see you next time.